So in this round, I have a good amount of fire here, and my opponent, save for the Rhino, has all fire vulnerable units. Look at the pure carnage that is going on here. Like, it's not looking all that much better for me, but at the very least, I have some Phoenixes in the air that can put good damage on these units here. Rhino is being taken out before the tower goes down, which means I stand a very competitive chance at winning this one, actually. Let's accelerate this. So there is a bunch more Fangs here. They get destroyed just after the, or just before the tower degradation actually comes in. Phoenixes take out this tower, and now there isn't really much left on my opponent's side. All that I need to do is take out a bunch of light tanks, a bunch of Mustangs. Just take a look at these numbers. I'm at 1,600 supply in this round, and my opponent is at 1,000. He picked Underground Threat. As an Necro player, I guess that makes sense, but he throws it in his back, probably to prevent me from, well, going there and just taking everything out. I do go for Underground Threat. He puts his shield back up. This Wraith, I think, has officially outstayed its welcome. It needs to be sold off. I still would like to get rid of these wasps, but I guess they have been putting in quite a bit of work. Simply because last round all the Mustangs, or almost all the Mustangs, died. My opponent is investing into Mustang range. He now has 5 packs of Mustangs out, which is quite a lot. Like, just imagine what a bunch of Vulcans with fire missiles would do here with incendiary bombs. He also buys out, which I think in round 5 is just not what you want to do if the health bars are looking like this. I'm still thinking about what to do here. I did throw some crawlers here in order to hopefully catch the missile. I also bought the level 1 defense enhancement. So this Arclight is now tanky enough to take a missile, although it won't have much health left afterwards. I had to put the haste module on the strongest set of Phoenixes that I have. And I'm still thinking about what I can really do to reliably go and win this. For the moment, I decide to go into replicating crawlers, even upgraded crawlers here, although my opponent once again drops multiple missiles. Like, he is really destroying his eco. And I do go into the next round with 1,200 extra supply saved over from this round. As you can see, the Arclight stayed alive, but didn't really matter because the Mustangs just took it out with superior range. The replicating crawlers here are definitely doing a lot of work, distracting everything that was in the rear. My wasps kinda push forward, but get eaten by the ranged Mustangs, and the shield does last for quite a while. These Arclights are being missiled down, and it is definitely a case of an army falling apart. But remember, I saved a whole lot of money last round. Plus my opponent has ruined his ego. I do take like half of my HP damage here. But it's round 6. It is round 6, and let me just, my opponent already picked redeployment as far as I can see here. So let's add that up here. So he was at 900. I am right now at 2,350 supply for this round. And if you know what that amount of money can be put into, there's basically just one thing really. Either you just max tech your entire army, or max tech a unit that will carry you until the end, but I don't really have a unit like that. Instead I go for the nuke, there goes a lot of my money. And then I have just enough money to go into double War-Factory, 200 left over for, I think, efficient maintenance. I think that is what I was doing. But I also think I sold these wasps here. No, I sold something else. I sold these crawlers here. Honestly, in retrospect, I think I would have sold these wasps. I do go into efficient maintenance because that does save me a lot of money. One War-Factory here, one War-Factory on the other side. And what does my opponent have to deal with them? Which of these units here would you consider an actual counter to War-Factory? Now, he repositioned his rhinos on this side, hoping to go for a quick tower snipe through these crawlers here. I do also have sticky oil bomb, so that's what my remaining 150 went. And I throw it here. My opponent did not pick the nuke. I guess he just plain doesn't have the money. This rhino is moving scarily close, but the damage from the War-Factory is just enough to take it out. And meanwhile, there is just everything being obliterated here. The War-Factory is standing extremely tall. Trawlers are coming a bit closer than my opponent probably would have wanted, simply because a lot of Mustangs are locked on the War-Factory, doing almost no damage whatsoever. Meanwhile, this side has officially pushed through and is just blasting the tower. And under the tower debuff, let's be honest, there never was a chance without a tower degradation. So why would there be now? My opponent goes down to about the same health that I have. It is round 7, but I think my position here is just very much so superior. And none of these units that came out are particularly amazing against War-Factory. I guess maybe you could make a case for the Vulcan, even the Hacker. But you'd need to win the fight for this to really do enough, I think. Vulcan for me, because I said this before and I say it now. What is there on the ground other than the Rhinos that also beats Vulcans? I guess the marksman kinda count, but he invested into anti-air against these Phoenixes, which he doesn't really get to shoot with the marksman. Meanwhile, I go for missile interceptor and throw my Vulcans out. One Vulcan here in the flank, because it can basically pull all of this and win the fight even. This War-Factory could level even. I do sell... yeah, I sold the arc light here, so there is a Rhino in the rear doing nothing productive. My opponent has sold the more expensive Rhino and is also going for fire on the Vulcans. But I have missile interceptor. I don't know how good that is, but yeah. In a sort of last-ditch effort, he is going for a melting point. He's putting range on it and buying out. He doesn't have the money for a second melting point. Maybe he should have used one less missile. Or I guess he could have also not mass recruited. He could have put out a second melting point. I, in the meantime, did go for this here. For my temporary buffs. And my opponent really should do that as well with the rest of his money. Instead, he invests into a shield. Okay. Missiles don't hit. Because my missile interception is on point. This melting point unfortunately locks directly onto my War-Factory. This Vulcan here doing absolutely amazing against the Mustangs and keeping them away. One War-Factory went down, but the Vulcan did not only pull but win the entire flank, and that means this War-Factory gets to just push through. I still think it would not even have mattered all that much. There's just too much stuff moving in here. My opponent's army gets completely stormed, and I think this is the moment where I thought to myself, haha, you got War-Factoried. Not, how should I put this? I don't want to be mean to my opponent, but honestly, you play aggro, you destroy your economy, and your opponent is allowed to survive to save up over 2,300 supply in one round, in round 6, I think that was. Yeah. What's gonna happen? Nah, how should I put this? It's just something beautiful. A bit of a cheesy player, stacking things on one side, putting the Stormcallers in the front, tower sniping you with Stormcallers in round number 2, and then you just drop the War-Factories. It's beautiful sometimes. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time.